Hey everybody, it's Briggs here, Alex Briggs, Briggsall, Super Briggs, Your Majesty, all of those I go by these days. No, I'm joking, not really. Your Majesty doesn't get said to me at all. It'd be nice though, I quite like Your Majesty as a title. Anyway, this is a vlog. I hope you guys don't mind this. If you don't really want to listen to me talk for 20 minutes, then feel free to switch off right now. Otherwise, enjoy the really bad footage of World of Tanks and me talk about me for 20 minutes or so. Anyway, enjoy. So it's New Year's Eve. Tomorrow is obviously New Year's Day, because that's what follows New Year's Eve, is New Year's Day. Pretty standard stuff. You've learned something new here. The reason I bring this up is I normally don't do much on New Year's Eve. In fact, I do very little on New Year's Eve, and this year is going to be exactly the same, because I actually can't drink because of the surgery, so that rules out one aspect of things, and I don't really have anywhere to go. You know, I'm not going to go to a pub or a bar or anything, because I'm not inclined to do so, but I haven't been invited to anything or anything like that, so I'm just going to sit at home. Probably won't even make it into 12 o'clock. I'll probably be in bed by about 11 or something like that, so, you know, today is going to be awful, really, as far as I'm concerned. I always seem to get a little bit down or depressed this time of year, usually over Christmas and New Year. I don't know why, really. I can't pinpoint, but this year's been specifically difficult because the surgery, really, is the best way to describe it. Unfortunately, with the surgery, I'm not able to eat, as you all know, which is a bit disappointing, really, because Christmas is a time where you eat, and you eat to excess, and you will have done it every year since you were born, basically, or at least most people would have done if they've got access to food. This year is the first time I've not overeaten in 20 years, probably, at least 20 years, and so I find myself a little bit depressed, is the best way to describe it. A little bit down about all the fact that I can't eat, and I know it sounds quite pathetic. Oh, you can't eat, therefore you must feel depressed. It's not just the not being able to eat. It's a multitude of different things that I just find. Christmas, I've found for at least 3 or 4 years now, I've just seemed to be down about it all, and I also seem to get a bit ill. I get a cold within 2 or 3 days of Christmas, which is also another thing that I don't really like being ill. No one likes being ill, so hence why I've kind of felt a bit, you know, down about everything this year, really. And on another topic as well, the same sort of topic, but another kind of, you know, understanding of what I'm trying to go through here is that because I've had major surgery, that also messes with you kind of emotionally as well. You have your ups and downs. Sometimes you feel great and sometimes you don't, and I found that it's been quite difficult, even more difficult this year, because of the surgery, as I've mentioned earlier. So there's not been much to be able to cheer me up about everything. I did get a few really good presents. There's no doubt that I got some fantastic bits of kit. I've got a lot of socks, which you'd be surprised actually that I do genuinely need socks. And I may have seemed a little bit disappointed at the time when someone gives me a pair of socks, but in reality I was actually pretty pleased that I got them. Next year I won't need socks, so if you're listening to this, anyone, please don't get me socks next year. I won't need them. I've got like 10 pairs this year so far, so I don't need any more socks, at least unless I say so. Anyway, I'm really dragging this on, aren't I? So I got a really great present off my dad. which I haven't thanked him for actually. I've got to remember to do that. Unless he watches this video and then he can, I suppose he can count that as thanks. But I better really kind of ring him and say thank you. He got me a really good pocket watch. I might include a picture, I might not. It really depends if I can be asked editing this. Probably not. But it's a pocket watch. I didn't expect to get a pocket watch. Pocket watches aren't something you get every day. They used to be a very kind of everyday, thing to have, years and years and years ago. But nowadays, people don't get pocket watches. They get phones and they get normal watches. Not even them these days. Actually, watches have gone downhill. But it's a very fine pocket watch, and I'm very happy about getting it. And it's a gorgeous timepiece, and I will wear it when I go to work, because that'll be perfect to have at work instead of having something on your wrist, which you're always kind of looking at, and always, especially at work, the last thing you want to do is be reminded of how long you have to spend at work. So, no, I'm very pleased about the timepiece. I'm very, very pleased. So, thank you very much, Daddy-O. I really appreciate it. I will call you at some point and actually say thank you to your face rather than doing it on a video. But if you don't hear from me and you watch this video, sorry, but thank you, if you know what I mean. Anyway, other than that, I really didn't get much. I mean, I've splurged out a little bit on World of Tanks. You may have noticed that I'm using the Panther 88, the new one that you can buy. I bought this for my Christmas present. I thought, I'm going to buy a Christmas present for myself. What do I want? Well, I can't really think of anything that I want or need. So let's spend it on something that's completely useless. Completely useless in terms of real life application. But in terms of fun, here we are. Regardless, these last few weeks since my surgery has been quite a difficult few weeks, because I'm struggling to eat. The best way to describe how I'm feeling about my surgery so far. I am struggling to eat, and I'm not losing as much as I would hope to have lost. The amount of calories that I consume every day compared to the amount of calories that I probably burn, or at least use just to run my body, surely is extraordinary compared to how much I'm actually consuming. And you'd have thought that might have given you an idea of being able to lose more weight, but I haven't. I'm averaging about 5 pounds a week. Now, some of you are going to say, "Oh, that's a massive amount," but when you're me big, I think the first time you weigh yourself after the surgery, you lose like 15 pounds or something stupid, or whatever it was. I'll actually look it up because I've got a record of it. I lost from the day I had surgery to the day I weighed myself again with it, which was 2 weeks. I'd lost, no, it wasn't 2 weeks, it was 1 week. I had lost 15 pounds. Yeah, I was right, 15 pounds, which is just over a stone in 1 week. And then every week from then on, I've lost about 5 pounds, which this is in no way, shape or form a complaint that I've lost 5 pounds. It's just I was expecting a little bit more than 5 pounds. I was expecting, like 6, 7, 8 pounds sort of deal every week, but I'm only losing between 4 and 5 pounds. But I then realised that, well, actually my goal is a stone a month. That is the recommended amount of weight you lose on this surgery. Not the recommended, but the weight that you're expected to lose on it is about a stone a month. So, I ain't going to complain that I'm losing weight. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just a little bit disappointed that I'm not losing more. Anyway, that being said, I suppose I better update you on total weight loss since recorded history. No, since the 12th of November 2014. So we're talking, let's get this in day figures, shall we? 12th of November, 30 days in November, so that's 18 days plus another 31, so that's 49 days. Yeah, 49 days. So say 50 days. say the 1st of January, 50 days, I've lost a total of 36 plus 22, 36, 50, 58 pounds I've lost, which in stone, 58 pounds divided by 14 is 4 stone. So I've lost 4 stone in 50. I've actually forgotten the fucking number. Yeah, 50 days. 50 days I've lost. 50 days I've lost 50 odd pounds. 4 stone. Which is pretty good, in honesty, because you're supposed to lose a stone a month, and I've lost 4 stone. So it's amazing. I can't believe I've lost so much weight. I honestly can't believe I've lost that much weight. It's brilliant. Brilliant. I can't think of any other words to describe how good that is. Yeah. So, the weight loss side of things, everything is going absolutely fine. A little bit disappointed with the last few weeks, but you know, as I keep saying, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I've just got to get over that and just deal with everything else. So, everything else is eating. Everything else is trying to recover and trying to regain my stamina and do all the things that I need to do to get back to work. Because I went back to work about 2 weeks ago, before Christmas started, and I was absolutely dead. I could barely do anything. By the time I got to work, I was already knackered, which is never a good thing. You know, you should never get to work and then immediately feel knackered. So I need to recover, and recovering is easier said than done, really. You just kind of recover. You just kind of regain the stamina, and you regain your ability to do certain things. The problem is that those things were done under the guise of eating and drinking normal food and having, you know, a decent amount of calories in your system, which I can never get, regardless of how much I put into my body. I can't get that many calories anymore. There's just no way I can do it, not yet anyway. So I really have to kind of think and do kind of a proper rule set or plan to define how I'm going to go back to work and survive, because that's what it's all about. It's all about me going back to work and not dying and not feeling awful, because I can say this for a fact. If I went back to work and I wasn't feeling great and I was feeling awful and all I wanted to do was go home, and that happened every time and it never really improved, then the likelihood is I'm gonna not want to go back to work, and therefore I jeopardize what I built before I had the surgery, and I'd feel less off, you know, less off than I did beforehand, before the surgery. So I've got to work out whether or not I should really think about, do I go back to work in a state where I could do work, that won't be a problem, but you know, do I run the risk of ruining my work by doing it? That's the question. So what I want to do really is, I need to go back to work. There's no two ways about it. I do need to go back to work. So this last week off, less than a week off now, I've got to get back into a fairly decent state. Otherwise I'm not going to be able to last very long. So dear. Other than that, everything has been okay. Everything is going fine. I'm wearing older clothes that I haven't worn for months, years. I'm getting rid of clothes which I haven't, you know, which I've had for years that I've been able to fit into, but now I can't fit. They're just too big, which is great. Just one good thing I that's come out of all this really is the fact that I've been able to get rid of some clothes and get back some clothes that I felt were too big, which it usually is the other way around. It's usually I have to buy or get new clothes because the stuff I've got is too small. So I'm ecstatic about that, very much so. So, you know, I ain't gonna grumble about clothes and all this sort of stuff and fittings anymore. I'm just gonna get on with it, and you know, I'm very pleased. I'm very, very pleased. I may not sound it, but I am. Deep down in the recesses of time. Anyway, I think that's enough from me. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. If you've stayed this long, then I appreciate it for a fact, for a start, that you've managed to stick with this for so long. And hopefully videos will be up on here on a more regular basis, because at the moment obviously they are a bit irregular, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions and such, just stick them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them. If not in the comments or in another video, we'll figure that out. And I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.